The best piece of advice I think I've ever gotten was from my mom. Fuck it, fuck them, and fuck you for thinking you can't. I remember I was down to some of my last pills. And the problem when you're taking all these pills every day is that you're throwing up a lot. Because your stomach's fucked, your throat's fucked, nothing wants to accept it. It's just like with an alcoholic where like you see them and they just can't quite get it fucking down. And I took a bunch of Xanax and I took a bunch of Norcos and I think I took a couple of Oxys and it was like my last one. It was going to be my, you know, hurrah until I could get more, hopefully the next day at that point in time. And I threw them all up like the second they went down. And I remember without even thought, without even a fucking mental process going through my brain, I reach into this fucking piss-filled toilet and I grab these pills out and I fucking ate those pills. And it didn't occur to me how fucked up that was and how much control it had over me until years later. Hair to put up for the day. Go over to the dab stuff. Yeah. Today's a big bowl day.
This is one of my favorite albums.
It is a good one. I remember when my parents first introduced me to the Clash, I was like listening to like modern punk music and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, we used to slam dance to the Clash back in the day. They're like, let's show you some real punk music. And I'm like, yeah, I got you guys. There we go, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Get around the fucking propane tanks here. Oh yeah, perfect. Then I can draw more fingers in different positions to tie in. You know, like, 'cause I think if this is the back of his thigh and he's got a little room open here and a little room open here, what I could do is take a few more fingers, kind of have him start filling those spaces up a little bit. I could even put some little, you know, incense sticks in there to kind of go with the theme of the design. Have some smoke just coming out of the eyes right here and tying up into that spot. You know, when you got like a blue waffle or a Pokemon or like, yeah, you know, just something makes you fucking laugh. Like my dog eating a fish. I got this dumb fish that stares at me when I'm pooping all the time. This is why I do the job. Shaving.
Just to get to shave me?
Yep, just to get to shave you.
Hey, everyone's got something, you know. I'm not here to judge.
Yeah, I'm always fucking with people. I'm like, don't you shave ahead of time. That's my goddamn tip.
The last thing on the checklist of like stuff that I want with you is to just like fill out all the background.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be kind of like our last hurrah would be tying together all the background stuff. Oh yeah, but probably like the absolute worst time I had on like actually smoking weed, and it was my mom's fucking fault too. My buddy Takashi was in town from Japan, and I got this weed from her. I think it was something cheese. I think it was like the strain or whatever. Yeah. And you know, before we go run a couple of errands and do work shit for the day, we're like, let's have a joint, you know. And we smoke a joint of that shit, and we get in the car, and both of us just look at each other and go like, fuck. Yeah, and he just put on this real chill jazz music, and he was like, all right, now it's time to relax. And then we have to go and we have to mail a package at the post office. And we walk through that door, and I'm seeing like sparkles and shit. Yeah. You know, it's getting a little like visually and trippy, and I'm like, what's going on? And I call my mom up, and I'm like, Mom, what was that strain that she got, or that you gave me? And she's like, oh, she starts laughing. She's like, oh. She's like, you got like 5 hours of that. Yeah. Easy peasy. Shoop. That's all gonna flow in super well up there too. I think another big misconception that drives me nuts with tattooing is people think that it's just an easy, fun job. It is a fun job. It's probably the funnest job you could ever have, but a lot of people don't know that if you want to do it right, it's a 24-hour gig. You're going to be going home drawing for yourself, drawing for clients, you're going to be working on social media, you're going to be working on researching, like especially if you have a specific style that you like, you're going to be researching that and obsessing your life with it at all times, traveling. Like there's a lot of busy work involved in it, and if you don't do those things, you're not going to get very far, and then you're going to be stuck just being unhappy all the time, only doing walk-ins. But if you want to do it right, it takes way, way, way more work and dedication than I feel like people understand. Is she dry? Shouldn't have brought the dried out shit today. Anybody who's done opiates for a certain amount of time remembers when they get sober, and about a month afterwards, you have this shit that reminds you that you never want to take pills again, because it backs you up. Like you'll only shit once every month, maybe once every 2 months. It is a 6-hour experience of humility and pain and agony and sobbing and just trying to get through it. And like literally that, when you're done with it, anybody who doesn't say I'm never touching that shit again, you're fucking crazy. Sitting after, you know, this experience you had and just thinking about the last however many years of your life and all the fucked up shit you've done, you know, like, I mean, fuck, there's times I stole pills from my grandmother. You know, that was probably the most like fucked up thing I had done at that point, because I loved my grandmother, you know, and sadly she probably would have helped me out, but you know, I didn't want her to know. I tried to hide as much as I could. I'm sure everybody knew, but you know, I had enough, like, I didn't want to give my poor grandma a heart attack, you know, but luckily she was able to see me sober, you know, before she passed. And that was pretty important to me, for her to see that I was going to be okay.
Are you proud of yourself now? You should be.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, at this point, thinking back, I'm like, holy shit, like all these like childhood dreams that I had, you know, I'm living now because of the people in my life and what they taught me. And I guess the best way to put it is I try to live a thankful life, because every day I'm very thankful for everybody in my life.
Frankie here. Our last talent show. Oh, God. What? I guess so. Let's put that.
Frankie, what are you doing?
He's in my seat. Oh my God.
Get out of your seat. Get out of the seat.
No, it's my seat.
Here we are at Niagara Falls, freezing, wet and cold.
It's not that cold. It's not that wet.
80 degrees yesterday.
Did you guys
Today
put
it's
your coat on?
You gonna get this on tape? I'm gonna kill your son.
killing. There's Frankie diving in just before the falls. He's gonna dive in the water. First boy to go over the falls. He's brain dead now, so don't.
Yeah, when I grow up, I want to be a tattoo artist and go to Japan and get tattooed like the Yakuza do. You know, like I didn't do drugs, I didn't drink, I chain smoked cigarettes, but that was mostly because it kept me from cutting. So the eyeliner starts like dripping down my face, and I look in the mirror, and all of a sudden I just see black just pouring out of my eyes and like every pore of my body, and I'm just getting covered in this black. My artwork afterwards for 6 months straight. I mean, I essentially just vomited the wildest stuff until I did that half ounce of mushrooms. That was it. All of a sudden I was like, I'm gonna finish these art pieces, and they just kept coming. This day they're still coming, you know.
Well, there was singing. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. Then all the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say...
I fucking love this one right here. Sex or drug, both good. It's like one of my favorite things I have in my possession. Weirdly enough, this was my artwork before the mushroom trip. I did a lot of monochrome, black and gray. I mean, it's probably just a good portrait of somebody that, you know, has schizoaffective disorder in general. You know, this is when I was at a darker time in my life. And then after the half ounce of mushrooms that I ate all at once, I started just doing all of this, no sketching, no concepts, just getting out markers and just going for it. Because this was just all representational of, you know, things I was going through, things I was viewing in my life. I did a whole series on, if you ever heard of the old book, I think it was an old French book called The Little King. I did like a my version, you know, of The Little King. And this was one right here with like the wishbone. It's, you know, like the beginning of his journey. This is all like how it felt, you know, essentially to me going through this stuff.
How long did it last?
The mushroom trip itself, I mean, I was pretty messed up for about a good week, but I'd say about 2-3 days of just actual, like, you know, I'd say the first 24 hours was the craziness of it. And then after that was when the art started to come, and that's when I started calming down and settling into it, especially after my dad came over. Yeah, this was another one right here with like the burning bush on the boomerang floating through space with the, you know, little guy praying right there, and little scene out the water flying away and everything like that.
And this is you and your father?
Yeah, this is me and my father. Because at one point when my wife Rosie called my dad to come over to help me out and everything, this was like how I, you know, saw it all and how I imagined it all. You've got the, you know, the little grasshopper learning from the, you know, the father grasshopper, like, you know, like guiding them through it, and everything like felt really alien at the time, like outside of that moment, you know.
Rudolph with that nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
Then all the reindeer loved him, and they jumped around with glee. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Tell me your name again. What's your name? What's your full name?
Frankie Simanton.
What grade are you in? Preschool? How old are you?
Hi.
What's your favorite color?
Green.
Green, huh? What's your favorite song?
Rudolph.
Rudolph. What's your favorite thing to eat?
Broccoli.
Broccoli.
Yeah.
You like anchovies?
No.
No anchovies?
Yeah, and
You like fish, don't you?
yeah.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
What else do you? What's your favorite fun thing to do? That would be ninja toys. Okay, let's see what it sounds like. Okay, we're recording again. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
The universe and such.
What about the universe?
It's a real bitch. But it can be a fun time.
This is Frank Simanton. Oh, mirror. This is Frank Simanton signing off. Thank you very much.
Was in the spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, you know she went away, but now she's gone, and I don't worry, Lord, I'm sitting on top of the world. If you don't like my peaches, don't you shake my trees, and get out of my orchards, and let my peaches be. But that's alright, I want you to know, Lord, I'm sitting on top of the world.
Look at me, you know what I mean? I look like an ex-Catholic schoolboy. This is what it looks like when you send your kids to Catholic school.